We did it! Yes! Finally, after 2 long years of hard work, I've reached 1,000 subscribers and Risky Bitness is officially monetized. Guys, I am so excited about this. This means that this channel is finally going to have a budget and I can do so much more. I'm really excited about it. So as a special, I thought I would do a little bit of a getting to know me segment here and also talk about my future plans for the channel and how you can help. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart each and every one of you who watched my videos and clicked on subscribe. You can't know how much this means to me. It's been my dream for a long time to have a YouTube channel. It's been rocky at times and I thought I was going to quit more than once, but I got some encouraging comments and I kept getting called back to it. So this is all going to be really off the cuff today. It's going to be a completely improvised talk that we're going to have. I don't have anything scripted. I'm just going to talk about myself, about the channel, about what I want to do. When I started this channel 2 years ago in September of 2019, what I really wanted to do was just to create another kind of history and trivia retro gaming channel like some of my favorite YouTubers. I am a huge fan of the gaming historian, Octavius King, Top Hat Gaming Man, of course AVGN, so many other great Stop Skeletons from Fighting. I mean, the list goes on and on. There are so many great content creators who attracted me to making this sort of video. And in the beginning, I knew absolutely nothing about making YouTube videos. I completely learned everything just by trying it out and doing it. And I asked questions. SNES Drunk gave me some advice at one point. Shout out to Dave from the Gaming Dungeon, who gave me some advice when I got started and let me use his Facebook group to start really kind of getting my content out there and sharing it with the world. That's super appreciated. I don't think I could have gotten where I am without Dave and the Gaming Dungeon. I started out with a video that was kind of a hardware deep dive into the Famicom Disk System. That's my very first video, so if you haven't watched that, please do. It's not great, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's very long, much longer probably than it needs to be, and the audio's not great. It's cut together kind of sloppy, but this was all part of the learning process for me. I had to do a lot of hard work to get from there to where I am now. Since then, I've learned so much about how to record and edit video, how to edit and process audio. I'm still learning. Even my more recent videos, I definitely have noticed things I could fix and tweak, and but I've been doing it on my own. You know, apart from the advice that I've received from friends and from a handful of other YouTubers that I've asked, it's been almost completely just me. So if you see one of my videos and you notice something, you notice an editing mistake, or you notice an audio problem, tell me. Let me know in the comments. Help me learn from those mistakes. So one of the other things that I really wanted to do here is I wanted to kind of engage with the audience, right? I mean, that seems to be a really important part of running a YouTube channel, engaging with you guys. And I don't feel like I've really done that very much. So I kind of wanted to start by talking a little bit about myself. I'm Dan. I live in New York. I am 40 years old. I have a wife and I have a son. I am not a full-time YouTube creator. I am a full-time IT application manager. This is a hobby for me. This is something that I wanted to do, that I really hoped could be a revenue stream. And now that it's becoming that, I'm really excited about where this is going to take me going forward. And I've been playing video games since 1985 or 6 when I was very small. I don't even remember how old I was. I know that the NES first kind of came out in a test market here in 85. And I know we were pretty early adopters. I remember my dad bringing it home, and these are all kind of vague memories because I was really small, but I remember my dad bringing it home. It was for my eldest sister. I have 2 older sisters, 12-inch or 8-inch tiny screen. And we hooked up the Nintendo to this little tiny itty-bitty TV in her room, and we played all day. And we played that thing a lot. We played Nintendo all the time. Super Mario and Duck Hunt from day one. From there was no turning back for me. Video games became a love affair that I carried on to present day. I am happily a grown man who plays video games. I'm not ashamed of that at all. I'll tell everybody I play them, I love them, because video games to me aren't just a hobby. They are part of who I am. When we play these games, we get connected to them, you know? We get connected to these characters and these worlds, and also they connect us to each other. I also, as a kid, had a hard time growing up because I was picked on a lot, I was bullied, I was a real kind of awkward, shy kid, which is funny because I was always much taller than my classmates. I'm a pretty big guy, but I was always very quiet, very shy, and I got picked on a lot, I got teased. And I also didn't realize this when I was a kid. I only recently learned this. I had ADHD my whole life, didn't know. So I had a hard time getting along with other kids, but you know, you go to school and you have a hard time and you try to socialize and you get picked on, you get teased, but you go home and you play your games, and for that couple of hours, you know, you get to be a hero. You get to save the world. You get to take on challenges that are doable. You know, not the challenges in life that are sometimes insurmountable. Like, how on earth do I learn to socialize with other kids with my awkward personality? But you know what? I can learn how to play Super Mario. You know what I mean? So I think I was kind of really deeply connected to this medium very early on. And from there, I got really into RPGs in the Super Nintendo era. Final Fantasy IV was a life-changing experience for me. I think ever since then, I've been super, super duper into RPGs because that game had an amazing message where you had this hero who was a dark knight and he was doing bad things. He was corrupted, and he gave that corruption up, that power that came with that corruption, for a more divine power, kind of a power of light. And that spoke to me on a lot of levels, because when you're going through those kind of things when you're young, you know, you can be in a real dark place mentally, but you can choose to see through that darkness and embrace the light on the other side of that darkness. That was really powerful for me. And I've always really loved stories. So when I see these games now, I started seeing these games that had much bigger, deeper stories to tell. It became a lot easier for me to get much more wrapped up in those worlds and those stories. When I think about something like Final Fantasy IV and how that led into RPGs for me, and now how important telling stories has become to games as a whole, I think that video games are an incredible storytelling medium, because not only do we get to experience them as an observer, but we get to also experience them as a part of the game. And as the games get deeper and more story-driven, that part of the game, that part of the story that we're involved in, becomes so much bigger and so much more important. And I believe very strongly that today's games and games of the past, I would even say maybe 20 years, have had storytelling that is as good or better than cinema or even the written word in a lot of cases. I was an English major in college. I studied British literature. And I will happily tell you that there are many video games whose storylines borrow heavily from classic literature and use themes, they use tropes, they use even methods of narration that are very similar to a lot of classical literature. One thing you're going to see a lot of on this channel is I'm going to talk a lot about stories here. And I hope that's something that you'll enjoy. I know a little bit more about myself, right? So I'm currently struggling with my weight and my fitness, and I've always had issues with that my whole life. I've always been overweight, but, you know, for a brief time in my early 20s, I got in pretty good shape, and then I got out of shape again. Then for a brief time in my late 20s, I got in shape, and I got out of shape again. And now I'm finding myself at 40 years old really taking big chances by not taking control of that. So health and fitness has become much more important to me recently, and it's something that I hope I can add a little bit of content having to do with that journey to this channel. But that's not really what we're here for. You know, we're here to talk about video games. So maybe you guys can cheer me on a little bit. Maybe you'll see me on camera, see my progress, and I hope we can share that moment together when I make those milestones. I've always been a big fan of martial arts. I've taken a number of martial arts in the past. I most recently was taking mixed martial arts, and I actually stopped. I had to stop right before I started this channel because of a knee injury. And since I had that knee injury, I actually had to get 2 surgeries. I got an ACL reconstruction, and then I got a meniscus repair. That's kept me out of training for a long time, and now, of course, life's kind of getting in the way. Schedule-wise and budget-wise, I can't really train right now. The knee's actually mostly better. Like, the doctor said I could go and I could train, but time and money have become an issue with training, so it's going to have to wait. So I've been training at home. I'm also very into music, but I play guitar, but really I'm mostly a bass player. Mostly into metal, but not extreme metal, mostly like, you know, classic metal, power metal. I like goth metal. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's kind of talk a little bit about the channel, what's going on with it, what I want to do with it. I started this channel to do history and trivia. You know, that's really covered really extensively already on YouTube, and I think that's why we had a little bit of trouble getting the channel off the ground here. One of my original ideas too, I wanted to do kind of hardware breakdowns, and that's something that I want to go back to. If you look back at my earlier videos, I did a couple of them, and I had a few issues. The quality of the content wasn't that great, and I don't have the physical stuff to break down. So I kind of had to just go by, you know, online research, and some of the stuff that I found was wrong. I did a Neo Geo video that I have several comments on that video telling me, dude, you're wrong about like a lot of stuff. And, you know, I had to say, you know, thank you, because I really thought that I had good information here. But it just goes to show you, you really have to dig in and you have to double check a lot of the information that you receive. There's still people out there, big YouTubers, that are still going to tell you that Hironobu Sakaguchi made Final Fantasy because Square was about to go out of business, and that's not true. It was never true. It was like a myth, but it kept on being repeated often enough that now people say it all the time, and it's been accepted as truth. So something I would really like to do going forward, I would like to revisit that. I would like to revisit some of these hardware breakdowns, and now that we can budget the channel a little bit, I want to actually get some of this hardware and physically take it apart. So a couple of the things on the list are going to be a camera, because right now I just have a webcam. So a camera I can, carry around with me, so I can bring it into my kitchen and I can set up a bench over there and break things down on camera. Camera, tripod, all that stuff. Obviously get some of the hardware, right? Like I'd like to get a Famicom disk system to break down, which I think you can still get on eBay for like $100. So I should probably be able to get one of those. And I would like to do some more emulation stuff also, because while this is chiefly a retro gaming content related channel, I feel like emulation is really important to the preservation of these older games. And I know a lot of you started watching this channel because of that content. I want to continue that, and I want to do that with like an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3. I want to get the hardware and I want to install the emulators on that hardware, do a whole tutorial breakdown of how to do that, and then I don't want to keep it. I don't have room for all that stuff. I would like to give those away to viewers. Come to think of it, I actually have a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus that I don't use anymore. So once I get a camera, maybe I can do like a takedown of that, and maybe I can even do a giveaway with that. I also want to continue the content that I've been doing, but like I said, I've noticed the kind of basic history and trivia stuff, it doesn't really need to be covered any more than it already has. I want to do more specific content, and you'll notice I have a lot more topical stuff. I'm going into more specific, granular detail about aspects of different games, franchises, etc. So I'd like to continue down that path and really get into the nitty-gritty of some of these games that we love. And I would like to hear from you, from the audience, about what you would like to see. Of course, as far as tutorials, any emulation questions that you have. The main reason I started doing the emulation tutorials is because I was in a few groups and I noticed that there are a lot of questions that keep getting asked over and over and over again. And I said, you know what? Instead of answering the same questions over and over again, I'm just going to make a video answering them. And then if I see somebody ask them, I'll just post the video. What I didn't expect was that my RetroArch tutorial videos would become like a #1 result on Google search, and that I would get thousands and thousands of views on those. That was a pleasant surprise. That's tremendous. And I want to thank everybody who has helped me get there. I really want to do some Launchbox content. Launchbox is what I use as a front end. So you'll notice that I did the RetroArch stuff, but there were some things that I didn't really get too deep into on the RetroArch. And that's because I don't really use all the features on RetroArch all that often, because I do most of my actual launching through Launchbox. I do like a Launchbox overview in the coming weeks, so that's on the schedule, but I have a big list of topics that I want to do. It's long. There's a lot of topics. So if there's any particular topic that you would like to see me dive into, any specific game you have questions about, or any specific emulation questions that you have, feel free to let me know in the comments of this video or any other video really on my channel. And I'll be happy to dive in. So I'm going to continue making the kind of content that I want to make, but I also want to make content that's helpful and useful for people too. So how can you help? How can you help this channel grow? I want everyone to be a part of it, because what this channel is to me, this is an independent retro gaming channel. There's nobody telling me what to say here. Obviously now I'm monetized by YouTube, so yes, I might have to once in a while change some content up for guidelines or whatever, but I'm not planning to do that if I don't absolutely have to. This is not my full-time gig, so like if a video gets demonetized, I probably will just leave it. It's not a big deal. I do have Patreon, and there's a link in the description for the Patreon. If you want to sign up for that, I have a whole bunch of video that, like, I have like Let's Plays and stuff, and just gameplay footage and stuff like that that I'll share on Patreon, so that way at least you're getting something out of it. Whether it's like $1 or whatever, or $5, $10, whatever the options are on Patreon. It'd be cool if a few of you guys want to do it. I'm not pushing anyone to do it. I'm not heavily promoting it. If you want to throw me a few bucks, I'll throw some content on there. Maybe we'll do a little bit more Let's Play type stuff where I can play a game and I'll talk. And I have a bunch of that already, but I can add more. If there's specific games that you would like to see me do a Let's Play of, let me know on the Patreon, and I'll throw it on the Patreon. I'm giving you something for your money. I don't expect anyone to just like give me money for nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do like the whole e-begging deal. I mean, I have some other links, like I have some sponsored links that might still work. I do have some merch, so that's kind of cool, but it's all through Redbubble. I'm probably going to change that to Teespring soon. But yeah, like buy a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or something, that'll help me out. With the budget, I'm going to change some things. I want new artwork, because I feel like the artwork that I have is not that great. I got it on Fiverr super cheap, and like it's okay, but I think I could do a lot better. That's probably going to be like a #1 sort of priority, is get new artwork. And then I'm going to get better gear, I'm going to get better equipment, and I'll make better content. I'll do some hardware breakdowns. We'll do a little bit more of the kind of retrospective videos on the big games that were really important to me. And we'll do some of the more deep, granular content. I'll keep on doing some emulation content. I just need to know what you guys want to know. What are your questions? What RetroArch questions, your Launchbox questions? Do you have questions about standalone emulators? Do you have questions about RetroPie? Like I said, I'm an IT guy. Like, this is kind of my deal. Like, I do troubleshooting and technical stuff all the time. If you look at some of my emulation tutorial videos, I have all the time, I get comments like, hey, this isn't working for me. And I try to do my best to help the person figure it out. Sometimes I have the right answer. Other times I help them find the right answer. Or they find it on their own. But either way, you know, it's part of the process. I want to thank everybody so much. It was so cool of you guys to help me out and help me get to this point. I really want to thank each and every one of you who helped to grow this channel and who are going to continue to help grow the channel going forward. And I have some videos that I feel like I'm really proud of, that I think are great videos that aren't getting a lot of views. So I'm going to just stick those in the description, and I'll put cards up and show you guys kind of what I feel like are some of my best work that hasn't really gotten the attention that I think it deserves. And if you guys want to be a big help, you know, take a look at that content, check it out. If you like it, you know, do the like, comment, and share. Share my stuff, man. If you share my stuff, that's going to be huge for me. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I don't tweet much, but if I get more engagement, like maybe I can, you know, if there's any kind of specific things that you would like to see me talk about on Twitter, let me know. I can throw some information out there once in a while. It's a Facebook page, and I have a Twitch. I don't stream much, but if you would like to see me stream something, let me know. I'll set it up. I'll make a date and I'll stream something. My next video I'm going to do is going to be a retrospective. It's going to be a retrospective on Circle of the Moon for the Game Boy Advance, the Castlevania title, the next game that was released after Symphony of the Night, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And I have kind of mixed feelings about Circle of the Moon, so it's going to be a cool video to make. I have a lot of notes, but I haven't finished the game yet, which is why that video is a little bit delayed. So I'm going to finish that game probably over the next couple of days, go over my notes, you know, write the script, record it, and I'm going to try to get that video out by this coming weekend. And yeah, please feel free to discuss your opinions and your feedback on any of my videos. I'm glad to hear it. You know, I'm happy to chat with you on the comments. I want to thank everybody once again. You guys are so kind to click on the subscribe button and to interact with me here. I know that there's so much retro gaming content on YouTube. I appreciate it very much, and any feedback that you have, you know, tell me if I make a mistake in a video, if there's something like the audio sucks, if there's something distracting or annoying in the video that's bothering you that made you want to click off. Let me know in the comments. Help me learn. That's what I'm here to do. Please watch more of my videos and share with your friends and like and comment and do all the things. And until next time, game over.